Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sets video, this time featuring Simisear. Now I'm going to go through all three of these monkeys within the next few days, so be looking forward to that. And in each of the video I have a pretty offensive set and kind of a more interesting set to go along with it as well. But today we're talking about Simisear, and so these two sets that I have for you are pretty much going to be what I think are going to become very standard for this Pokemon, or at least the first one is, and then a more fun set that I have at the end with some video footage. With that, let's take a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So first off, Simisear is a mono fire type Pokemon introduced in Generation 5 that has two pretty cool abilities. The first of which is known as Gluttony, which is an ability that allows pinch berries, such as a Salac Berry or Pitaya Berry, to activate at 50% of your health or less, as opposed to the usual 25% of your health or less. And this is really cool, and there are some pretty awesome strategies you can use with this, such as abusing entry hazard damage to get you into Gluttony range, or using Substitute and things like that. And it's a really useful ability because it allows you to activate the boosts from your held item a lot sooner than other Pokemon would normally be able to. But as for its Dream World ability, Simisear gets the ability Blaze, which in itself is really cool because it's normally reserved for the Fire-type starters. But what it does is it increases the power of Fire-type moves by 50% when you're at 33% of your health or less. And this is really nice because the added fire damage that this Pokemon can get at a lower range of health is always beneficial and will allow it to do some serious damage when it is at the lower range of health. But for the stats, it has base 75 HP, 63 defense, and 63 special defense, meaning that overall this Pokemon is pretty frail, but if you do want to run a defensive set on it, I would say that Simisear can actually run the best defensive set of the three monkeys. But for its attacking stats, it's actually very gifted in the fact that it has 98 physical and 98 special attack. So it is able to do damage from both the physical and special side very well, and if you want to even do something a little bit crazier, you can do a mix set on this Pokemon, which should work out just as well. And for its speed, it is really, ooh, my voice just cracked. And for its speed, it's really lucky in the fact that it has base 101 speed, because normally base 100 is a very common speed number, so Simisear will be able to just outspeed a lot of those Pokemon with max speed investment, and that's really cool for this Pokemon, and will definitely prove to show that this Pokemon is a very speedy and powerful attacker. But with that, let's take a look at the first set that I have for you in this video, which is an offensive special attacking set. So first for this set, we're going to start by giving Simisear a modest nature to increase its special attack but lower its physical attack. And then for the ability, we could either go with Blaze or Gluttony, basically dependent upon when you want your Pinch Berry to activate. And obviously with a Gluttony ability, you will activate at 50% of your health or less, but with the Blaze ability, you will activate your berry at 25% of your health or less, but when your berry activates, you will already be in Blaze range, so that is something to think about. But for the EVs, we're going to put 4 into HP, which is normally not advisable on Pokemon that are weak to Stealth Rock, but because it gives us an HP number that is divisible by 4, we can actually for sure activate our berries easier, because after a substitute or a couple rock switch-ins, it'll just activate automatically. But with that, we're going to go with actually 252 special attack to max our special attack with the modest nature, and 252 speed to give us our highest speed with the modest nature. And for the item, pretty much I've hinted at it already, we're going to be going with a Pinch Berry, and this time it is a Salac Berry as a way to increase our speed by one stage once it activates. And as I said, very easy to do because you are a fire type, and because one of the moves on the set that we are using is going to be Substitute, which is really nice because it takes away 25% of your health, thus getting you into the Blaze or Gluttony range easier, and it also puts Simisear behind a protective barrier to allow it to attack more freely. But once we have a substitute up, we're going to want to start going for some Nastyplots. Probably only need to get one, but if you can get more power to you. And Nastyplot is excellent because it increases your special attack by 2 stages, meaning that after Simisear boosts its special attack with Nastyplot once, it will have over 640 special attack, which is pretty massive and something you should think about when you're using this Pokemon because it is very powerful after a Nastyplot. But with that, the main attacking move of the set is going to be Fire Blast. Obviously, it is one of the most powerful, reliable Fire-type moves to use. However, it does have 85% accuracy, so it can miss. And if you do want to go with a little bit of a safer option, you can go with Flamethrower, though I think the added power from Fire Blast is always nice, and 85 really isn't the worst accuracy for such a high-powered move. But speaking of bad accuracy for a high-powered move, We could also go with Focus Blast as a coverage option, or Grass Knot, or even if you want more consistent damage, Hidden Power Grass. But overall, it's basically which type coverage you want with your fire type move. And something you might want to think about is, fire moves are resisted by Miltank because of Thick Fat, but Focus Blast is super effective. So it's really it's really that you have to take certain type coverages into mind when you do pick your secondary coverage move. But I'm just going to say this right off the bat. I tried this set the first time, or once, and the first time I tried it, I had immediate success, and I almost swept my opponent's entire team with it. The only thing that prevented me from doing so was the fact that I had Gluttony instead of Blaze, and so my opponent's Throw, which had max special defense and max HP, actually lived the Fire Blast that I hit with it after one Nastyplot with like 15%. So if I did have Blaze, it would have killed it, and that's kind of something really cool to think about, because this Pokemon can be insanely powerful if you're in Blaze range and get up a Nastyplot. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this. It's really solid for this Pokemon, and something that is going to probably be a more standard set that you're going to see with this Pokemon very often. As for this next set, we're going to be running a physically defensive set on Simisear, which might sound crazy at first, but when you see how well it works in action, you'll probably be just as surprised as I was as to how well it works when I came up with it. But we're going to start by giving it a bold nature to increase its physical defense but lower its physical attack, and then we're going to be going with the ability Blaze because Gluttony really doesn't serve a purpose, and we could always benefit from the increased fire damage. For the EVs, we're going to put 248 in HP to give us our highest HP possible with an odd number, 252 into our physical defense to give us our max physical defense, and then the remainder of the EVs are going into our special defense. As for the item, we're going to go with Leftovers to recover a little bit of HP every turn, which is essential because we are a more defensive set, and also because we do have that Stealth Rock weakness, so we want the Leftovers to recover off that extra damage that we are taking just because we are weak to that one move. For the moves, we're going to start by giving it Taunt, which is an excellent move for this Pokemon because it is so naturally fast that it should be able to taunt most Pokemon that want to use non-attacking moves, mainly more defensive Pokemon like Miltank, or I already used that example, or War Turtle, or other Pokemon that you come in contact with that are more stall-based, or that want to status you, or things like that. And as I said, because we're so naturally fast, we should have no trouble using this move with great success. But for our main attacking move, we're actually going to go with Flamethrower, and I decided to go special for this set because its special attacking moves are more powerful than the physical ones, Flamethrower being base 95, whereas Fire Punch, its most powerful physical fire move, being only base 75. But if you want to go physical, you're more than welcome to. But with that, we're also going to be using Knockoff as a way to get rid of our opponent's item, which is very useful, especially if our opponents are holding items like a Violite, or other leftovers, or choiced items and things like that, because it allows you to severely cripple them and allow Simisear to gain an advantage against those Pokemon. And also, we're going to be going with our last move as Will-O-Wisp, because we are physically defensive, so when we can Will-O-Wisp something, their physical attacks will be doing practically no damage. Well, not practically no damage, but significantly less damage because of the burn and our EV investment. And overall, this set is just really annoying to deal with. You won't normally see it being used in succession, meaning that you wouldn't expect to have Simisear in multiple turns using all these moves. Normally it's just like a taunt or a Will-O-Wisp or a knockoff here and there, or just bringing in to scare out Pokemon that are weak to fire. But the cool thing about the clip I'm about to show you after I'm done talking with this segment is the fact that I'm able to actually finish off my opponent's team because I was actually able to use this set in succession as opposed to just kind of like a one-time use here and there. So with that, let's actually take a look at that clip right now. So I start things off by showing you that my Musharna died to a Seed Bomb from a Cacturn, so I take this opportunity to bring in Simisear. Instead of going for a Fire-type move because I know Rapidash is coming in, I actually go for Taunt because this battle was actually 58 turns and I knew that this thing had Morning Sun. So I taunt it so that I can't use Morning Sun, and then I knock off its item so that it can't gain any leftovers recovery, and it just continues to wear down with toxic damage that I got on it beforehand. Now the Flare Blitz crits right here, which is kind of annoying, but it doesn't matter as you're going to see. And then my opponent brings in Gramble. I know I'm faster, so I'm easily able to Will-O-Wisp it to cripple its physical attack. And hey look, this is my Granbull set, because I'm actually playing somebody that is a subscriber, and I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, Flamethrower easily breaks the sub, goes for Focus Punch. It doesn't do anything because of the Will-O-Wisp, which I find awesome, and then I just flamethrower it. That unfortunately does not kill, but he body slams me and gets the paralysis off, which is what this set is meant to do anyway. But now he brings it as Cacturn, last Pokemon. I know it could go for Sucker Punch, but he knows I have Will-O-Wisp, so I just played it safe and went for the Flamethrower, and the Drain Punch does not kill. I live with 1%, and I'm able to take out the Cacturn. So that's a little example of how this set works. It's really freaking cool, and I love running it on this guy because it is very unexpected. But that is pretty much it for this video. So I showed you an offensive and a defensive set for a Pokemon that is very often overlooked, in my opinion. But anyways, with that, as always, thank you for watching, take care, and goodbye.